Message Atlantic Camp. Before I get into this message, I want to start out by giving all praises, all glory, and all honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKodesh, and I want to send double honors to the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, whom willing to teach well, whom taught me this truth. Um, this message is going to be a short series message on the first beast mentioned in Daniel 7. The aim is to go through and do individual messages based on the different beasts mentioned in Daniel 7. So this message is going to consist of reading from Daniel 7 up until that first beast is mentioned, and then we'll get some interesting historical facts, and we'll line it up with the scriptures, and then we'll also get some imagery to kind of bring everything together. But before I get into the scriptures, I want to start off with Amos 3 and 7 because it's very important. Surely, the Most High Yahweh will do nothing, but He reveals His secret unto His servants, the prophets. Now, I bring that up because it's through Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, whom He's given the Spirit to the elders and the apostles, His friends, the prophets, to be able to reveal to us the truth of what's to come. And, you know, in revealing and in understanding what's to come, we can have peace because we know what's to come. See, hard times are coming, but we are given the heads up of what's to come. And so when those tough, difficult times come, we have peace. When the world is going crazy, we will have peace. Just as the scripture says, my servant will eat, but you shall be hungry. You know, we are going to be rejoicing while these people are going crazy. But it's only through the Spirit of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, whom gives our elders and our apostles wisdom to be able to then feed us, the sheep, for us to then be able to put it out into the earth. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but, you know, I really hope I do this justice. So let's go ahead and get Daniel 7. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told us some of the matters. Verse 2. Daniel spoke and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. Now, what is that great sea? That great sea is the Mediterranean Sea. That is where these four kingdoms are going to come out of. They're going to come out of the so-called Middle East. So that great sea is the Mediterranean Sea. Verse 3. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. Okay, now, this is prophecy here. The Spirit is showing Daniel that there are four beasts to come, and each beast represents four major empires. Now, for those naysayers and backbiters, yes, there were different empires, but these are the four empires that the Spirit shows Daniel are going to rule on earth. Empires, okay? Four empires that are going to rule on earth before ultimately Yahweh Shai comes back and takes the earth from those empires, and then Yahweh Shai rules, and we, Yasharallah, the hopeful elect, rule alongside Yahweh Shai. We finally get to do what we were originally created to do, was to take dominion over the earth. Okay, so there's four beasts to come, and this is Daniel 7 and 4. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. So that first one, it says, was like a lion. Let's get, I'm going to show you some artwork. Well, matter of fact, let's do a quick Google search here. If you do a quick Google search on Assyrian artwork, the first thing that comes to mind is this thing. It's what's called a lamasu. This is about what Daniel saw. A lion aligned with eagle's wings. That first empire was the Assyrian Empire. Matter of fact, let's get this video here. I found this was from a documentary here. Let's see if the sound works. And you can see the wings there. Um, this was this was their deity. This was their belief. Um, this was their religious belief. It was a lion with wings, and we'll get into that definition here a little later. But the Assyrian Empire at its peak spanned starting from the east, spanned from modern day Iran all to the north part of Africa, which is Egypt, and then from there it spanned up north to Turkey and then down to Iraq. And as we go through these different beast systems, you will see that every beast, the territory gets bigger and bigger. You know, each one is diverse. But let's get a couple interesting facts on the Assyrian Empire. Okay, these are some notes. Brothers can screenshot it if you want to do your due diligence on. I'm not going to go through all these notes, but I'm just going to go through um, some of these more important ones. But just to finish up here on the verse 4, the first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. That's the Assyrian Empire I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. And it was lifted up from the earth. So it was taken out of here and made stand upon the feet as a man. And a man's heart was given to it. So the two wings being plucked is it coming out of its rulership. Um, the Assyrian Empire was taken over by the Babylonian Empire. And so that's the wings being plucked from it. All right. And then it being made stand upon the feet as a man. And a man's heart was given to it. That man, uh, um, that animal that stood on his feet was Babylon. You see, it took away its two wings. It took away the rulership from the Assyrian Empire, and it absorbed all the territories from the Assyrian Empire. And that man, whom that heart was given to, that man was King Nebuchadnezzar, which was one of the most renowned kings of Babylon. So it's one can say that it's the same territories, but the wings, which show the Assyrian Empire, were plucked up, and the new animal arose, over the same territory, which was the Babylonian Empire. So now let's get a couple interesting facts about the Assyrian Empire. Um, you know, I know we need to know the I know we need to know the prophecies. Um, so if you're kind of trying to get through Daniel 7 just to understand it, this is where you can kind of cut the video, because now we're going to go into some interesting facts about the Assyrian Empire. So it's all edifying, but let's go ahead and get it. So the capital of the Assyrian Empire, its original capital was Ashur. Now I say its original capital because throughout the Assyrian Empire, there was different capitals created, and you will see that as we go through these notes. But the original capital was Ashur, and that's located along the Tigris River. That's modern day Iraq. Now let's see if we get that Google search here. Ashur, Assyria, Assyrian Empire map. Boom, right here. Ashur, right there, right by the Tigris River. Okay, modern day Iraq. So that was the original capital right here. Okay, let's go back to I just want to go ahead and start off too and say that some scholars will say that the Assyrian Empire could technically be dated from 1200 BC. So for those of you that are saying, why am I starting at the year 900? I'm starting at the year 900 BC because that's when the Assyrian Empire kind of started to get off its feet. And that's that's uh that's where we get the meat of the Assyrian Empire's history. So yes, it can be dated back to the 1200 BC, but we're getting the meat of it. All right, we don't want to be too long-winded here. But in the year 900 BC, King Ashur Dan, took the throne and he began to expand the Assyrian Empire. And he did that because at this point in time, the Assyrian Empire had many cities that it had already taken over. But what this man started to do was he started to apply duties and tasks for each town. So every town was being responsible in building up the Assyrian Empire. For example, one town would be in charge of farming, one town would be in charge of making swords, one town would be in charge of um, just different things that this king did to begin to build up the Assyrian Empire. That's why I'm starting it here at 900 BC, because this is where the Assyrian Empire started to pick up steam. Um, the next king reigned in at the year 883 BC to 859 BC, and that was King Ashur-Nasir-Pal. And this king was the one who made the next capital, which was Nimrod. Now, again, the original capital was Ashur, but as you go through the different kings, Nimrod, map Assyria, as different kings would come up, they would want to build up different capitals. Um, and so we see different. Let me see, Nimrod right here. So the capitals here. Um, uh, The capitals to the Assyrian Empire were Nimrod, Nineveh, Ashur, and Babylon here. All right. But so different kings would raise up at different times and they would build it and they would make new capitals for the Assyrian Empire. So King Ashur Nasser-Pal, he was the one who created the capital Nimrod. Next interesting fact, King Shalmaneser, the son of Nasser-Pal, he was a king that led away the northern tribes in the book of Second Kings 17. Let's go ahead and get Second Kings 17 and 3. I'm not going to read through it because you brothers can go through and do your due diligence, but this is Second Kings 17 and 3. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. So Hoshea Hoshea was a servant to the Assyrian Empire, and he was trying to overthrow the Assyrian Empire, or he was trying to what's the word I'm looking for? He was trying to undercut the Assyrian Empire. And so this king here, Shalmaneser, finds out about it, comes down and takes Hoshea into captivity, and then later comes down and takes the northern tribes into captivity. This is all recorded in 2 Kings 17. But let's continue on. Um, then he dies. Then his son is Sargon, and then Sargon dies, and then his son Sennacherib reigns after him. So Sennacherib reigns in the year 704 BC, and when he comes up to the throne, Sennacherib, he makes um he makes another capital for the Assyrian Empire, and that's Nineveh. You see, so the original capital was Asher right here. Then it was Nimrod, and now it's Nineveh. And each capital had here's Nimrod right there. Boom. Kala. But each capital had different, like I think it was Nimrod that was known for its it had a very beautiful garden. I'm not sure if it was Nimrod or Babylon. I'm pretty sure that it was Nimrod. I think Nimrod or Nineveh, Salakia. You brothers can correct me if needed, but he makes Nineveh. And unlike his father Sargon, Sennacherib wasn't trying to expand the empire. He kind of was good with the territory he had, so but he did end up attacking Judah in 701 BC, the Judah being the southern tribes, but he couldn't take it. This was the recording in 2 Kings 18 where the angel of Yahweh comes down and smites about 185,000 of the Assyrian soldiers. Y'all can read up about this. I'm not going to go through it, but I'm just going to get here. Let me see here. So, boom. So, because right here. Oh, yeah. And Yahweh was with him, and he prospered whithersoever he went, and he rebelled against the king of Assyria and served him not. Invasion of Judah, right here, 2 Kings 18 and 13. Now, in the 14th year of King Hezekiah, did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah and took them. So it's very important that we line up scripture with the historical timeline, because as we know, who controls history. History is written by the winner, right? So that's just I'm showing you in scripture so that we can link it up and prove all things, as scripture says here. But let's continue on. We're almost done with it. But this is Ashurbanipal. He was the last of the great kings of the Assyrian Empire. He died in the year 630 BC. And that was at the year 630 BC was really the height of the Assyrian Empire. That's when they had all these lands on lock and nobody was messing with them. But 20 years after he died, is when his empire fell. I mean, can you believe that? All of this, all of this fell in only 20 years, and we know that to be because of the will of Yahweh. That's he set he set the bounds. And I mean, I thought that was interesting because 20 years for such a huge empire to fall is, I mean, that's very quick. Because I mean, take a look at uh modern day Babylon. Modern day we call it Babylon, but take a look at America. America has been on a decline for quite some time, and it's this one here fell in 20 years. So I just thought that was interesting. But so so when this last great king Ashurbanipal dies, his son, whose name is Ashur-etil-lani, he was too young to reign, right? So what he did is he set up a eunuch. Now, what's a eunuch? A eunuch is somebody that doesn't have some balls, right? Like literally doesn't have balls, so he cannot have a family line. So he sets up this eunuch. His name is Sin Shum Lakeshore, and the reason they set up the eunuch was because they they gave it to the eunuch so that he wouldn't try to usurp the throne. He had nobody, like he wouldn't have any sons to pass the throne on to, so they give it to the eunuch so that thinking, well, he can't usurp the throne, so he's gonna do the best he can for the city. Um, Anyways, this eunuch, he goes missing, and then the son Ashur-etil-lani, he crowns himself king, but he only reigns for about a month. So then after he reigns for a month, another son of Ashurbanipal reigns. And so while all this shakiness is going on, the Babylonians see this and they take advantage of it and they begin to attack. Now, the general that led the attack against the Assyrian Empire, his name was Nabopolassar, and he ended up being the first king of Babylon. So the first land that they took was Babylon. And then after that, Nabopolassar, he didn't stop attacking Assyria. He continued attacking Assyria, because he didn't want the Assyrian Empire to grow and come back and take Babylon. Because as you go through the history, I mean, if you brother screenshotted these notes, you would have read that Babylon was actually taken back and forth a couple of times between the Babylonians and the Assyrians. So this time, this guy Nabopolassar, he didn't want. Nabopolassar, he didn't want the Assyrians to come back, so he makes a peace treaty with the Medes, and he continues going up north and attacking the Assyrian Empire. So the after they take Babylon, they go and they take Ashur. Now Ashur, as I mentioned in the beginning, Ashur was the original capital of Assyria, right? Of the Assyrian Empire. But when they take Ashur, it's a big hit for the Assyrian Empire because Ashur, their capital city, was named after their deity. So when they take Ashur, they take it as like, oh shit, like, the god Ashur is no longer with us, right? So that's when shit really goes downhill. And then 3 years later, after they take Ashur, they take the other capital of the Assyrian Empire, which is Nineveh. Now that happens in 612 BC. And then like after 612 BC, Babylon has fallen, Nimrod has fallen, Ashur has fallen, and Nineveh has fallen. And but there's still some stragglers that continue to fight, but then all the fighting stops like at 609 BC. So that's basically the some interesting facts and snippets on the Assyrian Empire. But the first piece mentioned in Daniel is the Assyrian Empire. So let's just go back and get it. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I just showed you that on the imagery. I beheld until the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth. The wings being plucked is the Babylonians taking its rulership from it, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. All the territories were given to the Babylonians, and that man here was Nebuchadnezzar, a great king um, in the Babylonian Empire. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying for you, brothers. Um, I was going to do all of Daniel 7 in just one message, but I didn't want to be too long. I wanted to give the opportunity for brothers to go through each one and kind of study up on it. So Lord willing, I do the next lesson within the next couple days. So I hope that this has been edifying, and with that I say shalom, shalom.